And the music should stop. The music should stop. Oh yeah, because I'm watching it up there. But
Fanciness.
and the music should stop.
Yeah, so I see it on Twitch,
Music
the
should stop.
chat
Oh, yeah, 'cause
users,
I'm
but I
watching
don't
up
see it
there.
on
But
YouTube.
Okay.
Oh no, I got it. I can see it. Restream bot.
Here we go.
Yeah, I got it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started. Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 743 of the Overseas Connection podcast. It is July 23rd, 2023, and this is the Mega Hot Show number 2 coming at you live on Sunday, 9 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. in the East Coast, and because nobody really cares about it, but we'll talk about it anyway, Central Time Zone, 3 p.m. there. Check us out live every Sunday. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. And just because we're nice people, we'll even create an audio feed for you to listen to when you're dancing to the oldies. You're hanging out. Maybe you're doing chores like Kim. You're mowing the lawn. I don't know. Feeding cats, killing raccoons, something. All right. My name, Greg DeLacy, gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. And joining me today, let's see. Where do I start? Billy Bobby, Robin Tate,
Hey,
Bongo Racing in the
good
house.
evening. How are you doing?
Excellent,
Watch me
excellent.
Twitch.
Watch
me
we're
play
gonna have a
games.
conversation
Watch me Twitch.
about your
Twitch.
wardrobe
Watch
attire
me play
because,
games.
it's nifty. I like it.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Also,
And sorry, if you subscribe to YouTube tonight, you'll hear Nicole singing "Watch Me Twitch, Watch Me Nay Nay." It's absolutely fantastic. So hit the subscribe button on YouTube and make that happen.
I like it. All right. I now understand the questions around getting access to the YouTube channel. It all makes sense now. Hey, also in the show today, hailing from parts unknown, the gingerest of the gingers, Pete Chin.
Unknown. It's the second biggest city in the
CP.
UK.
This is
Birmingham.
me giving you the total, like, just easy. That's a softball response.
If you wanna stalk me, my coordinates are right here on my t-shirt.
I have those same coordinates, Pete. I do.
Yeah, but they'll have a harder job finding you than they will me.
Welcome to the show, both of you. Thank you so much. I think it's gonna be a fun show today. Kim, normally reliable, always here, and yet somehow today, she's just like, I could care less. I'm gonna go for a drive.
Yeah, she's like a fangirl now. She's in the chat.
She's stalking us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. We're used to it.
She heard Nicole.
Hey, we've got some birthdays. Well, one, just to readdress, Kim had her birthday on Friday. My wife had her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to both of them. We'll talk more about my wife's birthday in a moment. Coming up, we have birthdays for the likes of David Brown.
The MUC, Man United, my fan.
Yeah. That's such a, come on, that's like the easy layup fan base, right? I mean, pick something tough like Crystal Palace, those losers. I mean, I'm just saying, that's a real fan. Man United, it feels just like it's low-hanging fruit at this point. Come on.
Wow, you know more about English football than I do.
Yeah, because I didn't think they're doing very well anymore.
I don't know anything about football.
No,
hardly.
I just, I know. I don't
And
know.
you pull out that name? Wow. I'm
Well,
impressed.
yeah, it's because there's very few soccer names I've heard, teams that are actually based over the UK, and Crystal
Right.
Palace happens to be one of them.
Oh,
I
no.
believe Martin is a fan of Crystal Palace. I'm sorry, Martin. I'm using your team to make a joke, but there's that.
What's the team that Ryan Reynolds manages or owns? Should I say?
Wrexham, isn't it? Wrexham.
It's Wrexham.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't mention that one. But that one gets bandied around a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's done the world of good for Wrexham.
Yeah.
Has he?
Mhm.
Has he wrecked him?
No, not the slightest. He made them really good and made the town really popular with all the Hollywoods, coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want the
Kicks, I
Hollywoods, though, man. Trust me, you don't
people
want
people like him. Yeah, you're okay.
No, they're all striking.
Yeah, I was going to say you want to see him at the
Oh,
moment. They're high.
poor
It's
us.
a-
Yeah. They got
Poor
nothing
us.
more to do.
I don't want to film anymore.
And I should also mention, I mean, we have his name on the list. This guy, Gary DiFelice.
Oh yeah, he's a dude. He's bought a wheel. He's practicing. He's
is
doing
a dude.
ACC.
Has he
I-
joined the elite?
No, well,
He's not elite.
He's got an L
No,
plate
he's
on.
not elite.
He's got L plates up
Oh.
at the moment.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a problem. And you're going to find this out, Robin. By letting him into your community, it's
probably
gonna be
kill
a
it.
problem.
I'll probably
Yeah.
kill it.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Let's start talking
Is he got-
Broncos football. And the next thing you know, everybody's going to leave.
Oh,
Has he got
hey.
spanglers?
He is having a birthday on the 24th. And dude is freaking old. 74. It's nuts. He doesn't look
looks
a day
like
over 73.
No, I think
Yeah.
you're wrong there.
I have
think
some
he needs
ex squaddies and Navy men in Bongo Racing, so they'll not put up with that at all.
that. They'll initiate it.
Yeah, well indeed. Code Red.
Well, and speaking of Code Red, let's play a little happy birthday song.
I can't read.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Insert name here. Happy birthday to you.
We need
Gentlemen,
something
not recognized.
to go on while that's going on. I need to create some sort of stinger or video or something while that's going
Okay.
on, and that's on the list.
Robin, you've been doing a lot of work on the podcast side of late. I'm happy that it's been happening. We'll get into story time in a moment, so I suppose we could save it for then. But why not? Let's just talk about it real quickly now. You know, you're not getting paid, right? Let's just clear the air there.
Yeah. I've just noticed something that your name has disappeared, but we'll work on that.
It happens. Sometimes I disappear. I go quiet.
I don't know why that is.
But it is story time, so let's talk story time, Robin.
Hooray, it's story time. Hooray, it's story time. I'm so glad to be with you today.
Is it me or did Gamer Girl? She got really hostile in the chat. Broncos suck. Happy birthday, Skirt Boy. What's
Who
that?
are the
about?
Broncos?
They're a degenerate football team in the Denver, Colorado region.
All right, never heard of them. They
Yeah, so
obviously
you're better
make an
off not
impact.
having heard of them.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Okay, we're talking story time. I'm gonna start.
Okay.
So, wife's birthday was last night. Friday night, we had a lovely dinner at High Stakes Casino here, the High Stakes Restaurant, Steakhouse here,
Just around the corner.
local to us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was perfect. It was great. Originally, we were thinking we were going to bring Colin with us, and then ironically, we found out about an hour before we were going to be, leaving, that we actually had a sitter set up. We totally forgot we had a sitter. So we were able to have Colin watched. We went and had a great dinner, drank a great Hungarian wine. It was really kind of more like a dessert wine. Went great with our lemon cheesecake. Had a fantastic bottle. It's called Rocket Fuel from Jeff Rehnquist is the winemaker. And so they call it Rocket Fuel. It's a Zinfandel. but it's 17.8% alcohol. So
Oh
it
my
packs a little
God.
punch on the back end.
Ooh.
And is it sweet or dry?
It
or
is. It's not
medium?
sweet. It is a really smooth Zin. So sometimes you think of red wines as having a lot of tannins to it, that kind of taste to it, if you will, on the back end of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain about that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like red wine is because of the tannins on the back end of it.
Oh, I'm
This
sorry.
wine
I thought
has
you
none
said
of that.
white wine earlier. So red wine. Okay.
Yes, it
This
is a red wine.
Zinfandel.
Yeah.
17.
Robin Tate's 17.8% alcohol.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so dinner was great. Came home, and the next morning we were leaving.
How much is that a bottle?
Oh God, I have to think about that. It's probably $50 a bottle ish. It's from the wine club we belong to, so I don't recall how much we paid for it, to be honest. Pete is frozen with fear on that price tag.
I know. I keep freezing for some reason. I don't know.
So,
what it is.
it was a hefty price, so I get it. No, it's fairly reasonable for the quality of wine that it is. The Hungarian wine, I have no idea how much that costs. The manager of the restaurant came over and just gave us some to try. We've made good friends with this manager at the restaurant, and so anytime we come in, we always share some of our wine with him. We try to bring in something different, and then he'll share back with us. So we had a smoked brandy earlier in the evening, and then he had us try that Hungarian wine. Okay, so fast forward. Next morning, we wake up early, 6:30. We're hitting the road by 8 o'clock, driving down to Cindy's parents. We are bringing them a new TV to get, because their old TV was in bad shape. They was like, everybody was blue. The color correction on their old HD TV was just gone. So we're just like, well, let's just buy them a new TV. So we actually found a Hisense 65-inch 4K TV out of Costco, and Hisense is a new brand trying to make
Yeah, they're over
inroads to
here.
compete with Samsung.
We call them high sense over here.
Hisense, there you go. Well, they
Right.
were selling it for $380.
Right.
65-inch
Wow.
4K TV.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And a 3-year warranty to go with it from Costco. So I was just like, done. The problem was it didn't quite fit in the car.
Yeah.
So we had to strap down the rear tailgate, and so we get down there, we get to the house, we get it all unpacked, unloaded. In the meantime, Colin starts to show signs of being a little constipated. He was starting to have seizures a little frequently, like one every hour or so.
Mm.
So we also, during this time, realized we had forgotten the magnet that we use for his VNS device. It was attached to his high chair, or his stroller chair, which normally would be with us, but because we had the TV that we couldn't fit properly into the car, we had left that behind.
Huh.
And figuring we were only going to our parents' house and out to dinner, we could manage without the chair. But of course, we left behind something kind of important.
That's the way it always works.
Yeah. But so he proceeds to have probably 10 seizures.
Oh no.
So we are at the restaurant trying to just get through this dinner. He's having seizure after seizure. We had tried giving him a suppository earlier in the day to help alleviate the problem. And of course, it says immediate relief. Well, that immediate relief didn't take until about an hour and a half after, conveniently when we were at the restaurant. And so suddenly we are trying to change nappies. We are giving him his emergency medicine halfway through the dinner. And needless to say, our whole dinner came out, and we ended up having to have it reheated. Of course, the rest of the family all ate, but Cindy and I were dealing with this, trying to get it all taken care of. Get back home. He's still not happy. He's still fussy. 3:30 in the morning finally rolls around, and everything calms down. The medication finally starts to work, and we got probably a couple hours of sleep, but then I was awake at 6:30
No, that
trying
one.
to get myself situated so I could get back up here and possibly be in time for the podcast.
Well, good effort.
Oh,
You know, hey, I'm 3.5 hour drive. I did it straight through, and I actually was able to shave off 10 minutes. So I was quite happy.
You the man.
Recommendation.
Okay.
And so on Netflix, there is a series called Quarterbacks.
Oh,
Now,
I've seen that.
is,
Yeah.
it pertains to the NFL. They basically, Peyton Manning set this up. He directed it, I guess, and produced it. But they followed 3 different quarterbacks from last year. So Patrick Mahomes is one, Kirk Cousins is the other. So Patrick Mahomes plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kirk Cousins plays for the Minnesota Vikings. And then they followed Marcus Mariota, who plays for the Atlanta Falcons. And it's pretty interesting stuff because it's all the behind the scenes discussions, and they interview these guys as the season is going along. So you're kind of getting, kind of in the moment commentary from them and reflection on what's been going on.
A bit like the Formula One Drive to Survive type thing.
Yeah.
There's been a few
very
of
much
those,
so.
like the one about tennis as well. But I think the Formula
But
One's
one of the things that you don't really see it, because when you watch football on TV, you see the quarterbacks look like they're kind of getting hit, but it almost looks like they get pushed or shoved and they kind of fall backward or whatever, but it doesn't look overly hard or violent on the quarterbacks per se. But then there's other plays, absolutely. In this series, you see a lot of more different angled shots of these quarterbacks taking hits. And I have a newfound respect
for these little guys, because generally
God, yeah.
they're the smaller guys, aren't they? They're not the big
Typically
fellas.
speaking, they can be smaller, and they have these guys mic'd up as well. And at one point, Kirk Cousins hurts his ribs, and you hear him just like, ooh, and you're just like, oh my God, that has to be painful. But it's really good. I highly recommend it, especially if you like NFL football. You will really enjoy this. If you want some insight, I would watch it as well, because just from a professional athlete standpoint of what they go through in conditioning and preparing for playing professional sports. One of the other interesting things is Marcus Mariota. He is what you would call kind of a journeyman quarterback. He's never quite made it to stardom. And he found himself in a situation of being able to be a starter for one of the teams that is not necessarily doing great, the Atlanta Falcons. And so it's a very different path for him, and it's interesting to see him and what he had to deal with, not only before he got to the team, but because they give you some background on the quarterbacks and kind of how they came up, but then they really get into his journey through the season, and there's definitely some ups and downs to it all. So quarterbacks, highly recommend. It's good stuff. And that's it for me. I mean, beyond that, it was just a lot of work. I am not looking forward to next week because my head researcher is out, and the second in command, if you will, from the research team is out, which means I'm going to get questions thrown at me that I normally wouldn't have to answer or speak to or figure out, but
2 sugars.
So it'll make for fun.
2 sugars, creamer. There.
Yeah. All right. Robin, what's been going on with you?
Well, the week really started off kind of crazy. I had a meeting in my head office planned for 2:00 on Monday, and the plan was get that meeting over, get back up the road, get the podcast edited, get it up. But I got there and I was in the office about half an hour, and I walked past our service department, and I'm in the middle of a big project at the moment with these like sort of ice machines and iced coffee thing, and it's going out to hundreds of stores, and all eyes are upon us on this. So I'm walking past the service department, and I get, Robin, yeah, these people here say they're fed up with this, they want it taken away immediately. And I'm going, what? Yeah, they've had it for 3 weeks now, and it worked for 2 days. And why am I only hearing about this now? Oh, well, it's down as waiting for Spurs. Well, why am I only hearing about it now?
Right.
So I had a meeting with some of the directors, and I said, look, this has to be sorted today. Do we have any of these? Can we get one to them today? No, I could get one there maybe on Thursday. He says, do we have any? Will it fit in my car? Get it in my car now. So that happened. Ice machine in the back of my car, about the size of a person. And off I went. Unfortunately, my head office is 130 miles away from here. And that's about the almost, if you look at think of the map of Ireland, my office is, I'm in the very north bit. My office is about halfway down. And the place that this had to go was another halfway down. So it was a 500-mile day that day. So
Where did you have to go? Like Dublin?
No, way south of Dublin. A place called Rosslare in County Wexford. Way down the coast. Beautiful place. So in, old ice machine away, new ice machine installed, and back up the road again. I was literally in the shop for about half an hour. And then back up the shop. So it was a 500-mile day. And that's just, I used to be able to do that when I was a wee one. But that's too much. So
hey, but what about that for customer service? Shit,
there you go. Yeah,
top notch.
Yeah. Hey, this is getting sorted today.
Yeah, get the job.
That is good customer service.
That's what you do. You have to do these things.
Yeah,
now and again.
Of course you do.
And the week I've been here, I've been working from home quite a bit this week. Got some problems sorted out, some stuff that I needed contract-wise sorted out with work. And this week is a big sales meeting on Thursday. So I'll have the prep for it. So I'll be here tomorrow. We took the kids to a big, massive, biggest ever bouncy castle park. This big indoor park. It had indoor golf. It had like a arcade games like Las Vegas, like a big room full of that. It had 10-pin bowling and this big, massive, like indoor sports hall. But it was just bouncy castles everywhere. It was all attached. So all the kids were in there for an hour, and they absolutely loved it. It was absolutely that was a ball. They'll rip you off. You have to buy their socks. You can't wear anybody else. You have to buy their socks. Yeah. If you have socks from another one, because they brought socks because they'd been to one before from another one, a different brand of one. No. You have to have our socks at $150 each. Yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah.
Did you?
How much do they charge you for the socks?
£1.50, about $2 a pair. You got 6-7 kids with you. Yeah.
There's not a Crazy Rich Asians machine at this arcade.
No, but that's what I was walking through and going, oh yeah. I just, you know what? I just would just love to go back to Vegas again, just soon. Funny, I said to Judith earlier on today. Again, she was saying, because the weather here has been rotten. I don't know about you, Pete, but for the last 2 weeks, terrible. The weather has been rotten. Constantly raining. In fact, to the point where I considered putting the heat on.
If you would like, I'll just ship some heat to you.
Yeah,
it's 101 right now.
About 6 o'clock this evening, it brightens up. Blue skies, warm outside. Just so odd. But it's just the kids have been stuck inside. It's very, very hard to get stuff for them to do. And yeah, they're all stir crazy. And I can't wait now. You know, in 2 weeks' time, we're off to Italy. And it'll be mega. Well, hopefully it'll not be just as hot as it is right now.
Up there.
Sorry? Yeah. So
it's red up there, isn't it? At the moment?
Yeah, what the hell? I don't care. Do you know what? I have an air-conditioned room. If I have to look outside in the air-conditioned room, if I have to sit in the shade, it's not here. It's there. Yeah. Anyway,
I imagine you'll be sipping limoncello.
Yeah, limoncello. Yes, some Aperol Spritz. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So I'm wearing tonight. I'm wearing. What am I wearing tonight? I'm wearing a Bongo Racing T-shirt, which is Bongo Racing. If you can't really see, I'll have to come up because you can see on the stream. Got a nice little logo, and underneath the logo there it says "Never Too Old to Race," and it's done in fantastic Bongo green. And it's really lovely, very nice. And it's just done by some of my wonderful Bongo old farts that got these made and sent me one over, which is very, very nice. And I'm very, very appreciative. But I think it looks quite smart.
It's really well designed.
Quite smart. So it's my little logo. I sent it over and they got some done. And I think they got themselves some done as well. I actually have samples of T-shirts coming from a place very soon. Because... Yeah, anyway, that's for the future. So
be selling merch.
Merch eventually. Hopefully.
Merch.
few bit of merch.
This is going to be like Gran Turismo Part 2. Robin's going to like go to become a professional racer. This is the path.
Well, okay. Well, speaking of which, I mean, there's a streamer, a fellow called Rory Alexander. Okay, now he's been streaming for years. He does ACC now. He's been doing that for about a year and a half. But his main game that he streamed over the years and how he built his followers was Gran Turismo, and he's played Gran Turismo. And he would be in his family man, 2 kids, mid-30s, something like that. There, late 30s.
Okay.
And about January of last year, he made the decision that he was going to go full time. And he had about 30 odd or 40,000 subscribers, which is a lot, and there's a living in that. And he decided, look, I'm going to give up my job in corporate. He was in corporate housing or something like that there, and he's going to do this 9 to 5. And he streams from 9 in the morning to 3 every day. And live, race after race after race after race. Anyway, so he went live from then. Very tearful. He made a video the night before that he was going in to hand in his notice to say, wow, look, what we've done, I've put 6 months' money away to try this for 6 months, and then if it doesn't work, well, so be it. Anyway, it's taken off for him now. He's just, I think, broke the 70,000 subscriber mark. And where this comes to Gran Turismo, the new movie's about to come out.
Right.
He has a bit part in it.
Oh, very cool.
And he's whizzing off to Amsterdam today or tomorrow for the launch of this. And he's been invited by the last Friday. He got the call from, or Friday, not there, but the one before. He got a call while live on the stream. There's a message came through or an email came through inviting him to Amsterdam Polyphony Digital to come along to this. So his career's really taken off. And that's Gran Turismo. So, yeah. So, what media wise, I've been doing a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of work for my bit, a lot of work for work, and then I thought, God, you know what? I've got an hour or two here. I can't keep on doing my stuff without tidying up the overseas connection stuff. I'm learning
we do need some tidying.
I'm learning all this stuff, so maybe I should do it. So I hope you like the new format. It is quite nice, and it's with the software that we use. I've discovered new things where we were. I'm going to bore people to death here, but when we come on, when we take a Skype call, when you imagine you can look at a Skype call and I'm looking at it right now, so I see me, I see Greg, I see Pete, and then we have to go into the software and cut around all those things. And if you have a second screen, which maybe has a YouTube screen for footage, you have to do it again on a second screen. Well, now the software has a thing called like nested groups, so you can nest all the things in one thing and lock them all together and drag them between scenes without having to. So I just do one cut, and that automatically fits into the second or third screens. And now I've set up YouTube screens for one that's stuff that's showing. So the guy that's running the back house has a second screen that I can tee up the next video and all that. Yeah. So yeah, I can share all this out for you. So
yes, you're going to have to. It's OBS, and I'm assuming we're talking OBS is the back end that you use.
Yeah.
It is fantastic, but it can be fiddly. It for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've actually. So what brought this on was I was using a thing called Streamlabs, OBS Streamlabs, for the Bongo Racing stuff, and it had some nice little features about chat and some little things you could do. But there's a fee with it. It's about 30 quid a month, and I'm going, you know what? It's quite a big overhead. It runs on top of everything, memory, power usage. But OBS has had this update now, and it has a lot of features that not all of fancy some of the bells and whistles, but it has pretty much everything else if you do a bit of learning. And I thought, well, I've rebuilt mine, tried it the other night, did for a sample stream, and it worked really, really well. And I thought, well, I'll go here. I mean, there's stuff in here like our old chat stuff uses some weird chat engine. That's gonna get ripped out and ripped away and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're on watching this live but on YouTube right now and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button because there's a nice wee treat that we see there. So hit subscribe. Thanks. Kim, you drive safe.
Yes.
So yeah, hit the subscribe button. There's a nice little treat in there for us all. If you hit the subscribe button, that's really, really nice. Not money, but just something that's funny, and hopefully it'll come along. So yeah, that's where it came. So I rebuilt mine. I thought, well, I'm going to do this as well and give it a tidy. So I think it was overdue, a wee bit of a tidy. So yeah, that's it. Well, what else? T-shirt, work, more work. Looking forward to holidays. No drama.
Drama free is nice.
Yeah. I had one. Yeah, I can't really talk about that, can I? I can. An unspecified young person, woke me up. I have had very little sleep the last couple of days. I'm actually drinking an energy drink right now because I'm miser at stocks. One night through the week at about 2:30 in the morning, I get the knock at our bedroom door. Knock. Eventually got up, and it's one of the young chaps. And yeah, I accidentally pooed the bed. So yeah, so that was there and all over his bedroom floor, and at 2:30 in the morning, that was just lovely. And then I just didn't sleep last night. So I actually have 2 of my little sleepy tablets that I bought in Las Vegas. You know those ones, Pete? Yeah, there's 2 of those sitting beside my bed right now because I was clock watching at 3:30 this morning, and I don't know whether it's working until 12:30, 1:15 in the morning on this other stuff, and I just can't come down. But tonight I need to get a good night's sleep, and I've got those 2 sitting there. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Okay. So, onward. What about you, Pete?
Onward and upward. Pete, what's been going on with you?
Mine's been the same with work. Been really busy, but at the same time, I've been busy with the boat. If I've not been chipping in at work, I've been at the boatyard, so doing 12, 13-hour days, wearing myself out probably across the week. I'm still seeing engineering bricks. My dad asked me today, actually, because I went to go and see my mum and dad today, and he was saying, how many bricks are there at the bottom of those boats? And it was roughly around 920. So if each of those, they weigh just over 1 kilogram, you're fetching those out one by one on the side, jet washing them, moving them into the wash area, and there's only 6 that you can wash, and moving them aside. It's quite a lot of work. And it's just absolutely like mind-numbing. But I'm down now. How many bricks have I got left? I've actually stripped the kitchen mostly this week, and I've got about 180 bricks left.
Okay.
As of 920. So I'm
light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. I'm seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. What else have I done with the boat this week? I've got in touch with an electrician who's got a great YouTube channel. He's brilliant. His advice is just great, just on those little videos that he does. And I contacted him via email because I'd have liked him to come to my boat or our boat, should I say, and install some batteries and get the wiring for the battery system done in his little way, because he's so meticulous. He's brilliant at what he does. So I just thought, well, do you know what? It'd be good. I'll give him a call. But unfortunately, he doesn't travel that far. He's not far away. He's not far away at all. He's in Gloucester, and I'm in Birmingham, which in driving terms, that's not far at all. But he did a video on his YouTube channel, and he was on about the narrowboat tradesmen or tradespeople, saying that there's just not enough of them, and he only works 3 or 4 days a week, and he said he could work 7 days a week every single week. There's just not enough people out there doing this stuff, and it really has to to create his work pattern so well and just be really efficient with his planning. And he just can't travel anymore because of the amount of work that he's got. So he said that he's happy to provide me advice through maybe video calls and stuff, which I've obviously got to pay him for. But I'll be really appreciative of the help, and I could just get it the way that he knows is right, so I know it's right, and yeah. So I'm gonna have to go down that route, but So yeah, I've contacted him this week. What else have I done with the boat? I think that's about it.
Have
Yeah,
you?
like I said,
I gotta ask the question.
Yeah.
Have you come close to crashing your boat?
He hasn't
well,
moved
I'm
it.
not. It's not going anywhere at the moment. It's moored up. It's a
Right.
It's
Well,
a
I know
boat
it's
yard.
moored up. Yeah, but I mean, at some point you were driving it. You were out.
Yeah, we cruised for a whole week from
Right.
Stoke to Birmingham. I crashed.
Were there
it.
any close calls? Any moments where you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit?
I mean, I shouldn't admit this, but yeah, I crashed it into a boat. Luckily, there was no fucker in it, and I like, there's that British culture where like, oh, you smash into something, oh shit, are they gonna come out? Nobody come out the boat, so I thought, oh well, fuck it, I'll just keep going.
As you're
I don't think I
leaving,
thought
their
that
boat slowly sinking.
Nah, it wasn't that bad at all, but it was just this side wind that just caught us, and I ended up knocking into this boat, but nobody come out of it. I caught its fenders, so I didn't really cause any damage. It was just I suppose the disturbance, and somebody probably could have got out.
Like a true Viking, you rammed another ship. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I just carried on. And normally when you're going along the cuts as well, like I say, you get caught by wind a lot, and sometimes you get moved to one side, and you can hit the side of the walls that go into the lock, because it's very, very narrow. You're only talking about 7 feet wide, and your boat is probably about 6'8". So you've not really got much play at all, and sometimes you do knock it about a bit. So yeah, there's those moments where you have those little crashes. But yeah, it's coming on. I've done a project planner. I might have said last week, I can't remember. I keep talking to so many people about this because they have so many questions about it. But I've done a project timeline, and I'm about a week and a half in front. But this weekend, with the weather, like Robin was saying, I think because of the I think there's a jet stream, isn't there, across Europe, just under the UK, that's stopping the hot weather from coming up north and entering into the UK. So we're just completely hit by storms all the time, and all of the south, like France, Germany, and as it goes further down, Italy, they're just getting hit with this hot weather, and we're not getting any at all. So it's been really hit and miss where we are, and it wasn't a good weekend really for getting on the boat and doing stuff. So we just didn't bother. And do you know what? I've really enjoyed this weekend. We've not been on the boat. We've not gone out too much. We went out. I thought I was going to have to go out yesterday. My brother found me. He was like, "Oh, Pete, it's an electrician question," because I used to be an electrician. And he says, "Oh, all my sockets have gone off on the first and in the loft." And we went through all this thing. In the end, he called the builder out. It was close by us. This has got to be one of these things. Anyway, the builder come out and he found the fault and he sorted that out. So I didn't have to go out to him. I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to go out to him on the Sunday, and it'll probably take me, because of how far I live away from it. It's
now question. So I know, like in the US, we'll have what they call a GCI plug, which it's like a master plug that if it resets and faults and trips, it will knock out a whole bunch of plugs and sockets. Is that what happened with Mike?
Yeah, we call them MCBs or RCDs, and the MCB usually they normally trip out, and this fuse, the MCB, was actually faulty and it didn't trip out, but so it showed that it was on, but in actual fact it wasn't transmitting any power from the live buzz bar into the top of the fuse and going out to the circuit. So it was the fuse that was broke. Where they only cost about $4 in total, so it's not much of it's not an expensive fix. But I didn't have to go to my brother's in the end, so I went out to my mum and dad today. And apart from that, we've been at home, and because we're condensing all of our stuff, so from a 5-bedroom house down to a 65-foot narrow boat, so 65-foot long,
Ruthless.
6 foot wide, pretty much. We are like, we've got to sell a lot of shit, and I'm on Marketplace, on Facebook and eBay. Right. And I'm putting all these stuff on, because it takes a long time, doesn't it, to create these listings? Oh yeah. So
cash only, local pickups, no shipping.
Yeah. So there's stuff that I've been putting on there, like guitars, mics, so microphones. What else have I put on there? An Xbox.
Children.
The dogs. Just stuff like projector. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've put on there. Blinds, all sorts. And I've still got lots more to put on. And so that's what we've been doing mainly over the weekend, just trying to get rid of stuff. And the other, there's like a clothing app as well called Vinted, and you can get rid of loads of clothes, because that's the other thing as well. I'm the worst actually. I've got probably twice as much clothing than Shell's got, and I've got to get rid of it all. I'm going to go
used undershorts, no marks.
I've got absolutely. I've got loads of clothes that they've still got the labels on. I've never used them. I've just got them in my wardrobe, not doing anything at all. So I watched the video on YouTube, I think it was, a few months ago, about this guy who had 5 suits and 7 t-shirts and some polo shirts and proper shirts, and was able to make God knows how many outfits just by changing, like, his t-shirts and polo shirts. And so I'm going to go down that route. I think I'm going to try and minimalize everything I've got. I've watched a Netflix program as well about minimalism, and I want to try and just be as minimalistic as possible.
You're diet then, are you?
You
going on a diet then?
We're doing that as well. Yeah. Because getting through the door as well on a canal boat
sideways.
So yeah. So that as much as you joke about it, that is true, Robin. That is another thing that we're also starting. I don't know. So apart from that, what else have I done? I think that's about it.
Okay, that's more than enough. I mean, the boat stuff just on its own, even without selling the stuff, is a ton of work. So, cheers. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not in your shoes. Say that. Hello, Lord. Just want to give him a quick shout out. I saw him jump into the chat. Fashionably late as always, and yes, we do blame Kim. All right. Well, I suppose we could talk some video games now.
Shall we play a game?
I want to play a game.
You are one pathetic loser. All right, before we jump into what we've been playing, I did notice there was a news story, and I didn't cover it in our news section, but I thought I'd just bring it up here. All of the Activision Call of Duty servers have been fixed for the old Xbox 360 games and Xbox One versions of like Call of Duty, Black Ops, that kind of thing. And so there's been this resurgence of old Call of Duty games. Would any of you ever go back to play one of the old school?
Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. I have fired up years ago just for fun. But would I do it for long? Would I go, yeah, that was great. Okay, I'm done. Would it be worth someone's effort to do all that? I don't know.
I do want to go back through and play the actual campaign of Advanced Wars. I never got through that. I stopped like a quarter of the way into it, but I remember liking that game a lot. But
I'm a very big fan of just saying, let's leave games where they were, and all of the experiences that we've had, just leave them back in that time where we played them, because I just don't get that same feeling, excitement and joy or whatever when I played it then. We're far more advanced now in some games, and I just think it's best just to put a lid on it and leave it where it is. So I wouldn't personally. I'd just.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Robin, I know, Pete. Like you're. But see, the problem with you there is, and with all of us now, is we're in our 50s, 40s. So you wind back to when you were gaming at your mostest, in your late teens, early 20s, that sort of thing. And there's a whole library of really, really good games and great stories. Like the BioShocks of this world, and there was some fantastic games there that could be reimagined, redone, repackaged with that could be brought back. That so what if the oldies go, we played this before, but there's a whole generation of a really, really good library of stuff there that
Oh, of course there is.
know.
And it'll make its money. I'm sure it will make its money because there's people that are still going to go back to it and play it, and it will make its money. But
All right. So
yeah,
this is now spurred a question in my head. I'm going to throw it out to the two of you, and I'm going to throw it out to the chat. Anybody obviously listening, think back through all of the games you have played over the years. What is the one game, and I just ask for one, that you would most like to just reset on so you could experience it for the first time all over again? So for example, for me, I would
Viva
love the
Pinata.
experience of Gears of War.
I'm
over
going to agree with
Yeah.
you. I'm there with you.
Yeah. I remember,
yeah.
and it was not just even the campaign of it; it was the multiplayer and the excitement we
Multiplayer.
had.
Yeah.
Horde mode, all of that stuff. I guess Horde mode
Yeah.
came later, but the
that was
multiplayer
two, wasn't it?
was
Or three?
was just awesome. And
Yeah.
I remember that feeling of that's actually where I made quite a few friends online.
Yeah.
So
And this was only like an 8-player multiplayer mode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is 4v4, and there's all that shit talk in between in the lobby before you start your round, and it was real like hardcore.
and you didn't have
proper
private parties. You were talking to
mate.
people.
Yeah, it was good, and sometimes that was a way that you picked up a friend as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
somebody, you get all your bullshit talk, but you get some people that are
They
just
played it
jump in
well.
or say something,
Played it with
or
respect.
played it, just
Yeah.
played it great, and we're just good at the game and very humble. And sometimes you just get people drop you a friend request, and that's how a lot of people have met or kept in touch over time, and it's just fantastic.
Okay, so I have Gears of War, and I know you guys agree with that, but I want you each to give me a different game. So Robin.
Well, Modern
One
Warfare
game.
2 is where it all started for me as far as multiplayer and
Modern
chatting with
Warfare
people.
2, great
Yeah.
call.
Modern Warfare 2.
Very-
and I know it's been
very similar vibes.
redone, but the open chat, the open lobbies, and
God, I remember back to the G4TE days. We had just this community that we all played it together.
yeah, that was great. Knew those maps inside it. But if I could go even further, and I would say Quake.
Oh God, that's
So-
really going back. Wow.
Yeah, online,
Okay.
which is where the real multiplayer stuff really started. Yeah, you could say Doom, but Quake and Quake World, DM1, DM2, DM3, those maps that I knew so well on a 56k modem. News groups to get in, and that's how my business started back then, through that gaming and meeting guys that were similar. And Quake, definitely Quake. Yeah, because I done the big LAN meets with hundreds of people at them with big PCs and no Wi-Fi and network cables everywhere. So yeah, Quake and that. But I suppose modern times would be Modern Warfare 2 for me.
Okay. Pete, what about you? One game to experience it all over again, brand new. You have no preconceived notions of it. You get to experience it at its truest, like, bliss.
If I could experience it as well in the way that we did it in that time, it would have to be. It was a PC game called Soldier of Fortune 2.
Oh wow! Okay.
Now, this game, maybe it might not mean much to some people, but for us playing it at the time, there was I used to play in a server where I used to play amongst people that I used to work with, but at the same time, there were other people that obviously that joined across the world, and so as well as chatting to people that I work with, what used to happen was a friend from work used to phone me on my landline, and I'd have it on speakerphone, and then my brother would be downstairs on the floor below, on the ground floor, and he'd have the phone, but he didn't have a hands-free phone, so he'd pick up the handset, and I went down to just get some food or something, and just zip back upstairs, and my brother had got the phone. And he used elastic bands and elastic banded it around his head, and we used to that was our multiplayer. We used to play this game so much, and I had so much enjoyment.
That's a funny memory.
Yeah, my brother really had some good times as well doing it, and you could modify the servers as well. So sometimes you used to create the servers and over modify the weapons, and you could just get them like blown up the whole environment, and like just be ended up in complete like pixels. It would just be nothing. So we used to have some great laughs on that. But again, it's really dependent on what console, what era, because you could go back to lots of games. Could you like GoldenEye? I love that on the N64. Again, with my brother, that was a great time. The Mario World on the SNES. There's just so many Gauntlet. When I was like, how old was I then? 12 to 11, playing Gauntlet on the Amstrad CPC 464. And like my friend was on the joystick and I was on the cursor keys on the keyboard, and there was like 100 some odd levels. There's so much enjoyment is there across the years that I think we've enjoyed as older gamers, that it's really hard just to stick a finger on one game and say yeah.
But I mean, in fairness, you don't have to be an older gamer even to kind of fall back to that nostalgia. I think even younger gamers, they will have some games that they experience for the first time. Like I think about like PUBG.
Yeah.
The first time I ever played PUBG and understood it, it was just such like an eye-opening like revelation of like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Or even when you've had good games on Halo, like for you, that's like on a Halo 5 on Infinite. Is it 5? But you've played all of those Halos, and that could be the first game that somebody picks up and plays and gets their own online experience and has the best time in the world and talks about it in 20 years' time on a podcast or something. But you know,
I mean, think about kids that have played God of War, the remake, for the first time, never knowing what God of War was like back on the PS2 and PS3.
Yeah, but I
it's
think
a very different game.
I think what makes it more, I don't know, what makes it more nostalgic for me as an older gamer is the way that we adapted.
Wow, LFM season 10 was a roll
on some of the equipment that we had, like Robin was saying about the internet connection and the phone lines that you got. You didn't have the online communication or voice over IP, as they call it, don't they? And you didn't have any of that before. So you had to find alternative ways, and we managed that. We still coped as a gaming society to just come up with all these, like, funny ways of being able to communicate. For me, it was just more authentic and whatever, doing all of that and growing up with all of those different consoles in the past. But that's just, I suppose that's our recollection and our memory of it, isn't it? So
pretty much.
Yeah.
But good little exercise of going down memory lane. Okay. Let's see. We didn't even get into what we've been playing. So Robin, talk to me. What's been going on in Assetto Corsa Competizione?
Okay. Very, very strange week for me. Very tough week. Okay, first of all, this week in Assetto Corsa Competizione, we were in Kyalami, which is a track in South Africa. I did really, really, really well last year. I had some podiums and my first ever, I think it was, pole position there. Different car this year. And yeah, I done 3 races this week. And the first 2 were pretty awful. The first
what car are we racing again?
we're in a McLaren. I'm in a McLaren in the first race.
Okay.
And what happened in the first race was... sorry. I'll rewind a wee bit. Tuesday night, I went on to do my stream, to do my 2 races, and all of the Assetto Corsa Competizione servers were down, worldwide. Gone. Nobody could play. It wasn't LFM, it was ACC. And I was on the stream anyway, and sitting there, and you have to hang on for 10 minutes after the server time. And so I then went into the Discord chat, and there was about a dozen of the guys were in there. And they were stuck for something to do as well. So we started chatting, and it almost turned into a little podcast. We were chatting about how they got into gaming, sim racing, how they came to find bongo racing, and it was really cool. I mean, there was guys there from France and America. We had Step J, Jason, and all the stuff that's come through there, and we chatted for a couple of hours on the stream, and it was brilliant. It was really good. The guys all really opened up really well, so that was good. So on Wednesday night, then I went to do my 2 races, and the first one, I raced really well. I had not a good qualifying position. I had got up to, which was a healthy, I think it was 11th place from 25, and on the last corner of the last lap, I got touched from the rear, spun me around in the last corner, and pumped me down into 16th. And the second race was in the dark, and it was just a mess all the way through. And unknowns to me, this guy had touched the side of me. We came around the next corner, he touched from the rear. Now, there is a new penalty system in LFM, and there was a reporting system. But so the first race, I put a report in to say this guy ruined my race and his race. Nowhere I could go. That came back from LFM as well. We don't see anything wrong here. You should leave space. So that was overruled. And then when I went on the LFM website, this flash came up to say a report has been filed against you. This is the first time. So now
against you.
Yeah, against me. So this was the race in the dark. And now you get a chance. What's different now is you get a chance to respond to the penalty. Now you can accept the penalty and take a lesser fine, which is time and points taken off you, or you can challenge it, but if the challenge goes against you, you get more time and more points taken off you. Right. Well, I challenged it. Mr. Fabien Dufay, who has, I don't know him, never spoke to him, but we've been in lots of lobbies. He's in the same division as me, and over the last 3 seasons, he started about the same time, French guy, and he put in a complaint.
The French.
Yes.
The French.
Yes.
This sounds like a very competitive thing going on between you two then, in a way.
Yeah. So it turns out, I mean, I put the videos of both things up to the Discord groups, and the guys would say, like, hey, you're wrong here, you're right. They both came back saying, you're absolutely spot on, right. Both penalties came back against me. The first one, nothing happened. The second one, I got a safety rating penalty and championship points taken off me. And I wrote this guy, Fabien, a message to say, Fabien, I don't agree with the penalties, but these things happen. See you out on track. So I had to do one more race this week to get my championship points up. Now I'm in a higher...
You forgot to leave off, by the way, that you had the middle finger emoji.
Yes,
after
very
you said
much
all that.
so. Very much. Well, you actually can get banned if you were to put a bad message in there, or they will ban you severely. Yeah. That's a complete ban. And he came back to say, hey, look, no sense us debating this. You don't agree. Let's fight it out on the track. So I had to go out and do my other race, and I had a chance yesterday morning, and I went out, and I was in business class. So usually you have the splits, the very top guys, the second split, which I call business class, and then it can go down to 4 or 5 or 6. Now, in the previous seasons, I were in the lower splits, and now I was in business class. So some really, really hot guys, and I qualified in 24th out of 25.
Nice. You qualified.
Yeah. And the race is on the video right now. It's worth doing. I've done a little highlight reel, talked over. It's on right now. You can go onto my channel and see it. It was a brilliant race. And we went from 24th and we finished 9th. And it was absolutely superb, pushing all the way. Some people made mistakes. I kept my calm. I made one little slip. Didn't crash, but I would have before. So... so I'm glad, and I had a look at the charts, and I'm in the top 100 and ahead of Fabien Dufay. So that's going to be the battle of the year. That's going to be the battle of the year.
You stinking swine.
Yeah. So
did he race that same race then, or?
I've been in several. He wasn't in that. Not in that one yesterday morning because it was early on a Saturday morning. So. That was my nightmare work. Let's get that over and done with now. This week it's not Valencia. No, it's not. I've got that wrong. It's Hungaroring, where the Formula One was today, and I like that track. That was good. And then the community race is going to be at Monza. And generally, you stay away from Monza because Monza is one of those tracks that has that big straight at the beginning and this chicane, this famous track, And generally in online servers, that first chicane is a nightmare. Everybody crashes. Yeah. So we're hoping that in our community, that our guys that are a bit more respectful, we can have some good races. We did a bit of practice last night, and that should be good. That's Thursday night at 10 o'clock. I'm working on something here now because I've got quite a few American guys, and gonna try maybe once a month do a late night, do a late night for the Americans, like one weekend a month or something like that. There, do a midnight start or something to try and accommodate some of the American guys as well. But yeah, good. It's good. It's good.
Excellent.
Good. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, cool. Pete, did you get any gaming in? I kind of know it was blank, so I want to give you your moment.
Okay. No, I'm afraid not. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. Fear grips you, and you can't get the controller. I get it. I know. I understand that. I played more Diablo 4. I haven't picked it up since they've patched it. So one of the other things that came out this past week, Activision Blizzard did a big patch, which sub-read was a pre-patch for the new season, and they nerfed a lot of characters in terms of certain abilities. I thought I was the druid class was kind of being untouched, but now I have realized no, the druid class has been nerfed pretty severely. And in particular, one of the abilities, which is the werewolf slashing, got nerfed big time. So I may have to respec my character now, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world because there's no penalty to it, and you can kind of do it whenever. It's not going to reset the game on you, which I do like in Diablo 4, but I would like to have just kept my same build. I was really comfortable with it. I was feeling a good, flow. I was going into encounters not fearful. Unlike early in the game, there's often times where I was like, I need to get my ass out of here and run away. Now I was at a sufficient level and had done powers in a certain way that I kind of could walk in and just wreck shop. And that's a fun feeling in a game. And so, unfortunately, I am a bit fearful of what's going to happen with that when I do go back into it. But the other game I did try, and mind you, I just got through the tutorial, was Exoprimal, but I can speak enough. The tutorial is quite lengthy and kind of bizarre.
I'm so impressed with myself.
I love.
Do you know that Diablo 4 looks really intense? There's like you get nothing, and you're walking along the levels, and then all of a sudden it's just lots of flashes and points flying everywhere, and then right, you're out of it again. And it's like
so in some respects, Exoprimal shares the same kind of vibe because
it's like it as well, but in a different format.
The general premise: you are a recruited character into this, and I forgot the name of the operation, but in essence, you're kind of hired on to kill the dinosaurs. Okay, let me take a step back, and this is where this story is just kind of nuts. You are captured by an AI onto an island. You go back in time. I don't know why time travel plays a part in this, but it plays a part in the game for some reason. And mind you, this is a multiplayer only game. The tutorial you play through single player, but it's designed to be multiplayer only. You team up with other teammates, and you are basically trying to figure out a way off the island to escape this crazy AI that is basically sequestered you onto this island in the hopes, I guess, of killing you. You're part of this experiment that it's conducting. And you're also are in this world where apparently they have these, I'll call them weather events, where these portals open up in the sky and thousands of dinosaurs just drop.
As you would. As happens.
Yeah, as you would. And so your job is to go kill them, basically kind of close down these events. And in the proper game, it will direct you to like 6 or 7 of these. And then once you get kind of all of your keys collected, if you will, it's kind of like an escape moment, but you can attack another team that's doing the same thing as you. So it becomes PvP at the very end.
Yeah.
As well as still being, environmentally dangerous.
It's hack and slash as well, by the looks of it, with swords.
Yeah, I was going to say hack and slash. Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I'm going to stick with this.
I like the idea.
Like one-trick pony. It feels like a one-trick pony. It is go kill dinosaurs and move on to the next. I don't know if you have it up on screen, Robin, or not.
I do, yeah.
But so you're basically shooting these zombies. You have these really cool kind of mech suits that you jump into. And I'm going to take a step back. At the very beginning of the game, it has you kind of create your character, right? And so you pick a face, you can get, all those little detail bits of your hair color, your beard color, your beard shape, if you want a tattoo or a scar, and you do all of this. And it's in the process of you being interviewed by this AI robot for the job. The weird part, and this just feels so Capcom Japanesey, it's your character doesn't speak at all. And so you have the AI talking to you, and then you see your character on screen, and it'll kind of do the head nod, or an expressive surprise expression, things like that. But you never actually speak. It goes into other cutscenes. Your character never speaks. It drives me crazy because how difficult would it have been just to create some simple voiceover of sure, yeah, okay.
I was going to say there's nothing. There's not even like an agreement.
Nothing.
Like, yeah, okay, right.
And then the funny part is you spend all this time creating this look of your character, and then when they go to the cutscenes showing your character loading up to the exoprimal, the mech suits, you'd think you would see your character reflected of your choice. No, they cover your character's head with a helmet.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, so look, I've just thought of the perfect game. The perfect game. The perfect game, because I love the idea of the dinosaurs.
Right.
Imagine this: PUBG, team of 4.
Right.
You parachute, shoot into the island. Decreasing circle. That's where you have to get to. But the enemies are not other people. They could be, because who would want to play as a dinosaur? The enemies are dinosaurs, so you have to make it through those maps in your team, fighting the dinosaurs they're in the towns and all around
in the environment.
Yeah, in the environment to get to that point. That would be a game.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be good.
It's almost exoprimal, almost.
Yeah, but without the Japanesey shit. Anyway, okay, fair enough. All right. Yeah, well, you have to try new things. Says he.
I tried it. It handles a little quirky. The premise of the dinosaurs and shooting the dinosaurs is fun. That is the one.
They look good.
It has.
Yeah, they do look good.
That works. And it's not a bad looking game at all, but it's the one trick pony game. Beyond that, there's really nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that.
Yeah. It's there. It's on Game Pass. Capcom struck a deal with Microsoft to put it on Game Pass, probably because they knew this game was going to have some staying power trouble, but getting a player base that could try it for free probably does this game a world of good. I can't say I recommend it, but I can say give it a try if you have Game Pass. Why not?
Wow.
Yeah. So that was me. That was my gaming for the week. I did play a little Halo multiplayer as per usual on Wednesday. Always good fun. I think we had a really good run too. We were like 5-2 or 5-1, something like that. But I had to go out on a sour note because of my week. It was busy with work. I literally had to stick to my 1 hour lunch.
Oh well, such is life.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Boo-hoo.
News.
All right, let's get some news, Robin.
Here is the fucking news.
Robin, did you know
Mm.
the world changes and things change? It's not just static. Not forever, Robin. Talk to me. What has happened with Xbox Live Gold? Why can I not find it? And it seems like it's going away.
It seems very odd. In all of those years of Xbox Live Gold coming on, and the original launch like 14 or 15 odd years ago, absolutely.
It's got to be
nothing.
more than that, hasn't it? I can remember the kids being really,
It's
really
like 20,
little and
20
playing.
years.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I actually on here I actually have the advert running on the screen right now for the original launch of Xbox Live promotional video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're not quite sure, and we'll talk through this here because over the last few months there has been talk about the Xbox Live, the free games have been crap, and there's so many different SKUs. You've got your EA Play and Game Pass and PC and all the different things, and it was very, very complicated. And there's a chart in front of me now, which is also very, very complicated. So what seems to happen is they seem to be consolidating a lot of this stuff into one groovy package with on the back of it saving you money, and you're getting lots of stuff here. But is it?
Yes and no. Yes.
So-
And no. So you remember when Sony back probably 4 months back, they said, you know what, we're doing away with PlayStation Now, and we're just going to have PlayStation Plus Premium,
Plus, yeah.
PlayStation Plus Core, and PlayStation Plus. I forgot the
Essential.
other one. Essential. Microsoft basically is following the same suit. They didn't like the fact that they had Xbox Live Gold as this one thing, and then Game Pass, which was gaining a lot of popularity, was you had Game Pass Console, Game Pass PC, and then Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
It seemed confusing, and I think ultimately Microsoft wanted everybody in Game Pass so they can say, look, all these Game Pass subscribers. Just like PlayStation, they got rid of PlayStation Now with a very low subscriber base. They said, hey, look, everybody's PlayStation Plus now. That's our premium service. Game Pass will be the premium service moving forward. So they get rid of Xbox Live Gold, but what they create is Xbox Game Pass Console, Xbox Game Pass Core, and Xbox Game Pass PC, and then Ultimate.
So what am I paying for now? Okay, what have I got now?
Yeah, Game
So
Pass Core
so
is basically Xbox Live Gold.
So what I've got everything. I've got the PC games at the moment.
You've got Ultimate.
I've got Ultimate.
Yep, you've got Ultimate.
So I'm going to be
gives
paying
you everything.
So-
Ultimate gives you everything: PC, console, online play, EA Play, and rewards quest for Microsoft Rewards. It's got all of that built into it. Game Pass Core, think of it as Xbox Live Gold's replacement. It allows you to play online multiplayer. It, instead of giving you 2 free games a month, you will get a curated, basically a selection of 25 games. And they went through the games. They're pretty good. I mean, you've got, Forzas, you've got your Halos are in there, Doom Eternal's in there. So it's a good list of games that they will update through the course of the year. I think they said like 2 to 3 times through the course of the year. So it's going to be kind of a static 25 games you get, but they're going to be first-party games for the most part, and a good selection as opposed to some of the crap you were seeing Xbox Live Gold going through because they just didn't want to. They wanted to kill it off, basically. Game Pass console hasn't changed. That's the same as it was prior to this, which a lot of people didn't realize doesn't have multiplayer. You needed Xbox Live Gold to play multiplayer. Game Pass console gives you all of the console games in Game Pass. So that's basically hundreds of games within that, and your deals with Game Pass,
which is prehistoric and useless to anybody these days because they have.
Well, it's useless to anybody that wants to play online games.
No, well, it's probably useless to anybody that wants to play it because they have to have an online connection. The
online connection is part of it. That's there, but you can't play online multiplayer, with the exception of free to play games. You can play those they've made outside of these subscriptions.
That'll be for a very small bracket of people that maybe like some of my kids.
Game Pass is kind of the interesting one because they still get free online multiplayer because Microsoft has always kept that free.
Yeah. Well, you can't really do
PC
that.
Master
Yeah.
Race. But you do get the PC game library only, and then you'll get your deals with Game Pass as well. The value, quote unquote, is in Game Pass Ultimate. It gives you everything under the hood plus EA Play. So if you like EA games, it's kind of nice because they will come usually about a year later after release, especially the sports games. So FIFA shows up the next year. Madden, this year's Madden, 12 months later will be on the pass. So that's the big change. That was the big whoop to do about it. A lot of people were confused at first, thinking that Game Pass console should have had multiplayer, but it's never had multiplayer. So, I think a lot of people were getting, their internet rage going for a situation that the reality was it never was there. So,
okay.
But yeah, so this unifies everything and makes Microsoft now have bigger numbers. Because we all like bigger numbers.
Okay, well, that's weird.
Robin, would you be interested in the PS5 Pro?
Be interested in the PS5? Would I be interested in the PS5 Pro? I'm not quite sure. I mean, I know. I mean, if you can start this here, but we'll chat on. PS5 Pro.
So Tom Henderson is a pretty infamous insider within the gaming community, especially over like in the NeoGAFs of the world. He leaked some information a while ago talking about how he had heard there was going to be a PS5 Pro as well as a PS5 Slim. Now he has come forward saying, his sources have confirmed that the PS5 Pro will feature, and honestly, this means nothing to me, but 18,000 MTs memory and 30 WGP working group processors. He goes on to say the upgraded version system will target more consistent frame rates at 4K resolution and features top-of-the-line performance mode for 8K resolution, and also sporting accelerated ray tracing within the whole package. So, what it will price point at, we don't know. We don't know specifically when it will come, but he has always been hinting that it was targeting basically November of 2024.
Long way away.
It's an interesting move. They did it last generation. It was successful. And so it looks like they're going to repeat and rinse.
Yeah,
we understand.
I think so. You did. Yeah,
Microsoft is not going to do it, apparently. At least so they say. And that leads us to speculation. Is Microsoft just not going to do this, but they might do their next gen console earlier? Because we know, per the court case that just happened with the FTC, information came forward in that case that Sony was targeting 2028, or at least that's what Microsoft believes Sony is targeting, 2028 for their next gen PS6 release. So I wonder if Microsoft is looking at that, because they have come forward and they've said publicly that they're not going to do a mid-gen refresh.
It's been it has been an odd generation. We couldn't get the parts through, and then COVID and all other bits and pieces. And
it still feels like we're just finally getting games coming out that have actually been made for these systems. So,
but they have a lot of life in them yet, really do. I mean, none of them are struggling.
It really does.
I mean, do you think they're going to struggle in a year with games like God of War and and stuff like that? There, I mean, really? I mean, I know they have to keep on selling hardware, and they've got factories and development teams that have developed stuff, or they'll just shut them down. So, and they have to keep that interest for the next shiny thing, I suppose. So, okay.
I mean, it was an 8-year cycle between the 360 Xbox One and the PS3 and the PS4. So I kind of anticipate that's going to be a similar generational thing for this time around.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
But there you go. Expect it. The PS5 Slim, that's one I would be interested in. But there's no real news on that front. So
Pete could get onto his boat.
Fingers crossed.
Pete could get onto his boat without it tipping to one side.
Yeah. Pete, would you be interested in a PS5 Pro?
No, it would be a hardware difference, and I don't think it would make that much difference in game release and what I would expect from a game from the hardware that I've got as far as a television. And
Right.
it's going to be performance driven, isn't it? And it's going to be what television that you've got, and it has to be like latest tech. And I just ain't all about that for me. I've always said it, haven't I? It's just not for me. I'm not up there with.
Now let me ask you a tougher question.
Okay.
If a PS5 Slim came out that was maybe 2/3 the size of the PS5 currently, given your downside situation, would that be enticing?
No, because I've already planned for the big one.
And if I remember correctly, you have the platform on the outside of the boat to hold that.
Yeah. I'll just take some bricks out the ballast. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So stay tuned on the PS5 Pro, and we'll see. All right, Pete. We have video games to talk about. New release schedule coming forward next week. I saw you updated the games. Tell me, what can we expect next week to play?
Okay, so we got Mr. Run and Jump on pretty much all the platforms on July 25th. Remnant 2 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, July 25th. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the PC. Wow, that's a long. I got that from the first time I got my PlayStation, which has felt like a long time ago.
Hey, fun fact about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PC: does not require an SSD.
Oh.
Remember at the beginning of the generation how the PS5, we were able to make Ratchet and Clank only with the power of the SSD? Well, apparently that's not the case.
There you go. Fun fact, kids. So that's out on July 26th. Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons is out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch, PC, July 27th. I've not seen anything of that at all. I wonder. I'm gonna have a little look at that. Oh, this is another one as well. Monkey Island. I've got great memories of this on the Amiga 500 when it had 12 discs, 12 3.5-inch floppy disks, and this is Return to Monkey Island on iOS and Android, July 27th. July 27th as well. The Expanse, a Telltale series, which is pretty much.
I might pick this up. I'm looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
There you go. I'll have to look into it. Don't know much about it at all.
The Expanse, fabulous TV program.
Is it?
Fabulous
There you
TV
go.
series.
Yeah, really good TV program. Yep, I think it's on Netflix if I'm not mistaken, or is it Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime, I believe.
Amazon Prime. You
Right.
should check it out, Pete.
Okay. Another game out on the 27th is called The Room, and it's VR,
Oh.
Dark Matter. So I don't know if this is going to be like a horror.
Yeah, I'm guessing scary game.
It comes across that way. That's on
Was The Room not the
PlayStation
puzzle
VR
game?
2.
Was that not the puzzle game that you had to try and get out?
I don't know.
Was that The Room?
I remember
I don't know.
the film, I don't know whether it was a Hollywood film, but the film called Room, that was quite was it based on real life events? It was bloody worrying anyway. The Room. Don't know. Could be a horror game. Who knows?
Okay.
On July 28th, Disney Illusion Island, which is out on the Switch.
That's not what it says on my screen, Pete.
Well, I'm reading off the website because I could see that Robbie started playing with it straight away. I
Well,
noticed when the news was going because I did take too much of notice of what was being said about the PlayStation. I noticed that the releases was not updated. So I thought, do you know what?
Good
I'm gonna
lad.
get onto
Very
that
proactive.
straight away.
Very good.
Yeah, there we go. So
I prefer
that's
Return to
pretty much it.
Epstein's Island.
Well, the actual name of this, Pete, is Disney Delusion Island. Leave the kids out of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it for the next week.
Excellent. All right.
yeah.
Thank you for that. So of this list, The Expanse, top of the list for me. I mean, Ratchet and Clank coming to PC, that actually might. I have to see if that works well on the Steam Deck. That could be a great Steam Deck game.
Drake, it's a fantastic game. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant game. If it does play well, I suppose. Could you play a demo? Do you get demos on?
It all depends if they put a demo up or not. I don't know. But usually they'll rate it if it's fully compatible or not. So I'll take a look at that. Remnant 2 is another one I'm kind of curious about. That game came out, the first one, 3 years back ish. And it was it kind of like was it Outriders? Is that the name of the game that Sega came out with? That was the it went into Game Pass. It was the space sci-fi third-person shooter. Remnant 2 is going to be along the same vibes. Quietly optimistic for that game. So
nice. I'm going to check out Return to Epstein. I mean, Monkey Island. I want to look at that just in case. And then, Double Dragon's another one. I think I'm going to look at just out of interest.
Yeah, that's yours. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Excellent. Robin,
wrap it up.
When can we hang out and race together?
You can race with me most nights, actually. There are guys in the practice servers. I'm just looking there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on a practice server right now. So you can join any night. Go to any of my YouTubes on Bongo's Bits, and you'll see how to get onto the Discord channel. And you get all the server access there. Lots of guys will talk you through it. There's instructions there. It's nice and easy. And even if people like Gary DeFelici and Jason Stepjay can get on. Anybody can get on. So Community Race Night is on Thursday nights, and we are at Monza. So be there at 9:50 for 10 o'clock start, and contact me if you are interested in that. So yeah, cool. That's me.
Excellent. Still playing Halo on Wednesdays. If we get a number of people, we'll do a private match. We'll have some fun. We'll do some crazy stuff, rocket races, that kind of thing. So come hang out. Loads of fun to be had. I'm just going to erase the Friday night PUBG because that just never took off. That was really because of Mark. It's all Mark's fault.
It's all Mark's fault.
Mark, we were going to do this resurgence into PUBG, and Mark just has that's all I got to say.
Flummoxed.
Yeah.
That's a great word, by the way.
Flummoxed.
I need to incorporate that a little more into my vocabulary.
Okay.
I love it.
Flummoxed.
Okay. Pete, start us off with some shout outs.
Well, I'll just shout out the people in the chat. There's only Kim, Lord, apart from our interjection as well. I don't think there was much else going on in the
it's summertime.
Tonight,
Summertime.
They're enjoying a nice little apple cider in the beer garden or watching their TV, but they'll catch up, I'm sure. So yeah, just those. I've not got anybody else to shout out. Robin.
Yeah. Just when I was searching for how to spell Epstein correctly, because I completely forgot it. Many U.S. presidents, a little news thing. Many U.S. presidents have claimed Irish ancestry.
Epstein, isn't it?
Wait, I believe it's Predator.
How do you spell pedophile?
Or predator?
Oh, sorry, not called pedophiles anymore. They are called, what is it? Something attracted people.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Youth. There's a new term for it now. MAPS or something. That's what it is. It's MAPS. Minor attracted persons. That's what it is now. You're not allowed to use the word pedophile any longer. And they're they're a minority, so they're discriminated. So that means if they're a minority, that's cool. Anyway, stop, Robin. Okay, thanks very much for listening, everybody. You'll see me on the racetrack, and you'll see me here. And if you want one of these lovely Bongo Racing t-shirts, contact me, and I'm sure I can get you sorted. And if you want Bongo Racing stickers, please contact me, and I'll definitely get you those sent over. So, see yous. Goodbye.
Shout out to Kim.
Yeah.
Post birthday related. Kim, happy birthday. Shout out to my wife. Happy birthday,
Oh,
honey.
yeah.
So sorry it was a rough night. Shout out to the community. We love you guys. Come back, hang out. We'll have another round next week. We'll have some fun. Ciao for now.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.